the last Python series before summer finally ends. Quick introduction for those of you who don't know me. My name is Shriven. I'm a rising junior. I'll be double major in finance and BATE and a double minor in statistics and health admin. I currently serve as a tech development chair at Rutgers Business Information Technology Society, also known as BITS. Fun fact, I actually went to JP Stevens High School in Edison, New Jersey. So anyone from JP here, type in on the chat. All right. Hey, nice. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, JP getting right here. I'm pretty sure like 75 of JP goes to Rutgers. But anyways, yes, I'm from JP. A couple of my hobbies are soccer, cooking, photography, traveling, and DJing. So I actually traveled over 5 countries. Well, I actually lived in over 5 countries. And then cooking and photography, that's something I picked up over the quarantine. So definitely something I've been spending most of my time on. But other than that, let's get straight to it because today we are actually going to be building a GPA calculator. So I don't want to take up too much time. I try to make this 1-hour session, so let's get straight to it. So I want to make sure if you guys can see my screen here. Can you guys see this? All right, great. So this is like the home page of your VS Code. So then now we're going to start off by clicking new file, right? And then we click the text editor because we want to basically script our code. And first of all, let's check if we have Python even installed, right? So in order to do that, let's go into our terminal right here and type in Python space 2 dashes and then type in version. And then you're supposed to get Python 3.8.3, or you can also try this Python 3 space 2 dashes and then version again. And you're supposed to get 3.8.3 or 3.7.2 or whatever the latest version you should have. Try to get around the Python 3 part. 3 point something, because that's like the latest version. It's good to have that because you have access to like basically all the modules that Python released, right? So first of all, let's save our file. So I'm gonna press Command S or Control S, and then I'm gonna call this GPA calculator because today that's what we're gonna be working on. We're gonna make a GPA calculator. And then we want to name any Python file .py. I'm going to save this on my desktop, so put that on there. And then now, there you go. I just have my file, and notice the little Python logo popping in, so that the computer knows, or the VS Code knows that you're working on Python, right? So let's start naming our module with GPA, right? So def means define, right? So I'm basically going to define my module, and I'm going to just put parentheses in and then a colon, right? So what this means is that you're basically going to be just starting your, you're going to start scripting, right? Code. So let's think about what we even need to start in terms of, even working with a GPA, right? So what are some stuff you need to take in? Can you guys just drop down some stuff on the chat function just to see input of numbers? Yeah, Henry. Averages. So specifically speaking, I want to know like what specific numbers are you putting in? Like what are the type of stuff that really matters? Right, Sanchita, you're correct. Number of credits. So let's get started here. So I could say, on every transcript has on the bottom current cumulative credits in GPA, right? And we also need current cumulative points of GPA. So this is how like you basically mix with the points you kind of mix with the credits amount and the actual grading scale of whatever grade you got. So these are the points that you get in GPA. And basically, when you divide the points by the GPA, so cumulative points, over cumulative credits, you're supposed to get your GPA, your current GPA, right? So that's how you basically calculate your GPA. So that's coming from your like old transcript or whatever recent transcript you have, right? So let's just say that you're going to be taking, I don't know, 18 credits this upcoming semester. So 18 credits this upcoming semester. And that basically is 6 classes, right? And each class is worth 3 credits. So obviously I'm shooting for that 4.0 this semester. So I'm going to say that all my classes are going to be A's, right? All classes going to be A's. So essentially this is how our kind of like outline of a whole program, right? So we kind of designed like a brief kind of breakdown of how we want to set up our code. Now, what we're going to do is first, we are going to assign our cumulative credit, like our current GPA, right? So I want to know what my current GPA is. So Python is going to tell me my current GPA. So let's just say that we're going to make it cumulative. I'm going to make it actually just current. I'm going to put this in short abbreviation. So current cumulative points in GPA. And I'm going to say input. So input basically means that the code is going to ask you, like, you have to put in the numbers when it's executed, right? So I'm just going to say how many current cumulative points do you have in your current GPA? Or you can just say in your GPA, right? So what this means that now, since this is an input function, basically you are gonna have it's when it asks you this on Python, it's gonna convert whatever you have as a string. So remember all those arithmetic, for those who attended the workshop part 1, we talked about strings, we talked about floats, ints. So strings are basically kind of like text, right? So it's going to convert whatever number you would say, is going to assume like you're saying a number, but in a text format. So it's not really going to act as like a math operator, right? So so let's just run this to see how it's going to work, right? So here, oh yeah, we also have to, every time we run in a since we define this module, we also need to call it here, right? So let's just say GPA, that, and then now that just means that you're calling this whole function right here. So we can just say that, and then now we press play, and then now it's going to ask me how many current cumulative points do I have in my GPA. So I can just say 237, right? And then it just ran. So we're good. We have no error on that. So let's just make this a step up. So we're going to say current cumulative creds, right? Creds GPA. And in that, we're going to equal it to input how many current cumulative credits do you have in your GPA, right? So now what you're doing is you are basically getting, now you're basically asking how many credits do you have in your GPA, right? So in order to even find your old GPA, so we're going to make a new variable. When in doubt in Python, just make a variable. That's my go-to phrase for when it comes to Python. So now what you can do is your formula for old GPA, or like whatever your current GPA, is basically cumulative points in GPA divided by cumulative creds in GPA, right? So cumulative creds in GPA. So what happens if you run this? So let's just say print old GPA. Let's just say your current GPA is, comma, that, well, actually we have to put the comma outside because you're telling Python that you want this old GPA to come right after. So now we expect that our old GPA is going to be printed, right, with the division operator. So who thinks that this is actually going to run? Type in yes or no. Yes. I see one yes. Yes. All right. Two yeses. Yes. Yes. All right. So let's run this and see, figure out. So let's just say I have, I don't know, let's just say I have 237 credits. And let's just say that I have 70 cumulative credits in my GPA. Now look, I get my error message, right? Unsupported operands, type S for string and string, right? So what this means is that here, whatever your number you're typing in is basically converting it into a string. So what you need to do now is you basically need to like cast them, right? So if you guys attended to the workshops, basically casting means that whatever input you take in, whatever like number you put in, it's going to convert it into an actual number, right? So assuming the fact that your cumulative points could be in decimal format, you can make that float. And then, so make sure have your parentheses around it, right? And then also your current cumulative credits in GPA is also going to be in float, right? Because sometimes people have 1.5 credits, or I don't know. I think that's like the only 0.5 I've heard. But now, will it work? Let's try it, right? So 237 and 70. All right. Now it works. Your current GPA is 3.385714. Oh my God, that's the wrong number. All right. So now what do we need to do is, I don't want this long number, right? So usually, I don't know, I think my.rutgers.edu, like it shows you like the first, like it rounds to like the nearest like 10,000s. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our old GPA and we're going to press, we're going to basically tell the thing to round, right? So we're going to press dot, round, and then you get this operator as a suggestion, right? So we're going to say that in parentheses 3. So now what we're saying is that we basically, I just want the 3 digits after the decimal point, right? So let's see if I run it. So I actually want to clear this. So let's just 237 and 70 are 3.386. So you get your current GPA is 3.386. So yeah, so there is your current GPA. I actually want to clear my terminal, so that just makes up more space for you guys to see. So now what we're going to do is we need to figure out, we need to prompt how many credits you're taking this upcoming semester and how many classes you're taking. All right. So first, what you're going to do is I'm going to call this semcreds, right? So semcreds means that I just want to know how many credits you're taking this semester. So let's just say input, how many credits are you taking this upcoming semester? Right? So notice the fact that how I said input again, and this is basically saying, all right, how many credits are you taking? So obviously this is going to convert it into my string. So now we want to cast this. So in terms of casting, I'm going to basically say float. Float basically just means that you're referring to all the decimals. So if you know your credits is going to be in decimal format, so make sure you have it under float. And then the next thing is I want to make my SEM class, right? So this basically means that I want to know how many classes am I taking. So input, how many classes are you taking this upcoming semester? So obviously this is, again, an input function. So it's under float. No, it's just under string. So we could make this into a float, but how about we try int? Because I'm pretty sure you can't take 2.5 classes, right? So you know that you're going to have, say, 2 classes. So that's why you're going to just convert it into int, right? Because you know it's going to be an integer. So now what we can do is you basically have your classes, your credits, and your classes, right? So let's just see if everything is working well. Python recognizes our credits and our classes, right? So I'm also going to type in the type because I want to show you guys the way what Python actually classifies as each numbers as. So if it's an int, float, right? Just to show you guys as a proof that we convert it into a float. So now let's just print this. It's going to start me again. So let's just do 237, 70. And how many credits are you taking this semester? 18. How many classes are you taking this semester? 6. And then, all right, so we have 18.0. So basically tells me I'm taking 18 credits and I'm taking 6 classes. And my first number is class under float. So it's saying it's float. And my second number is basically an integer, right? So we basically kind of casted these, and I just wanted to show you guys that Python recognizes them like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a for loop, right? So can someone tell me in the chat function what a for loop does? Anyone? So for loop basically, right. Some of you guys got it. So it says iterates a certain condition, right? So you basically, so an example of for loop, basically it iterates until whatever the end value is, right? So if I were to say for x in range sem class, so whatever the number you have in your sem class, so let's just say 6 classes in here, you're this x starts at 0. So what the for loop is doing is it basically it makes a new variable called x, and it's going to classify it as 0. So it's going to start at 0, and it says in range sem class. So what I'm saying is that in the number, like, so if I were to say 6 classes, I'm taking 6 classes. So I'm basically referring to the number 6 here. So in range 6, that basically means in 6 empty spots, my x is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's just show you, let me just show you what I mean, right? So look at the for loop. So we want to put the colon here just to tell that we're starting a for loop here. So now, when we run this, we're gonna just have our go-to numbers here: 70 credits, 18, 6, and then there you go. So my for loop, it prints me out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this basically means that it basically iterates 6 times, right? So it starts at 0 and it's going to iterate 6 times. So where you're going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? When we count, we basically start counting at 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you're coding, the actual counting starts from 0. So just keep that in mind. All right. So now what we're going to do is I want to figure out basically how many credits is each class, and I want to know what grade I get in each class, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable called, let's just say, call it A, right? So A, and we're going to say input, how many credits is class. So I want to make it say 1, right? So since x starts at 0, I want to make sure that I want to make it how many credits is class 1, and then the next loop it's going to say x starts at 0. So I want to make it say the first loop, I want to say how many credits is class 1. The next time it iterates, I want to say how many credits is class 2, right? So we can make another variable, call it b, and we're going to say x plus 1, right? So what x plus 1 is, so basically you're just kind of incrementing your x value by 1, right? Because in this case, you can just say how many credits is class 1, right? So if I were to just say b, right, that just means 1. So this formula would not work because this is running under a string, right? And if you just add an integer out of nowhere, the input function is not really gonna work. So what do you have to do is you can technically cast this, right? So what do I mean by casting? Basically the number, whatever you're gonna get for b, you're gonna make it a string, right? So str b. So now what you did is you basically casted the b into a string, right? So how many credits is class 1 in this case? So the 1 is considered as like a text rather than a number. So for, let's just say print a, right? Because I want to see my a every time I input in. I just want to make you guys get an idea of what the loop does. So 237, 70. All right, my current GPA is that. How many credits? I'm taking 18.6. And then how many credits is class 1? So there you go. Now we basically got how many credits is class 1 instead of class 0, right? Because we incremented x plus 1 here. So I can just say 3, and it's going to print out 3, and because we're telling it to print, right? And it's going to be 3. So notice how the fact that it's so close, the number here, like, so I just want to have like an extra space, like a personal preference type of thing. So I'm going to create a plus sign and just create an extra space for myself. So when I do run this, right, I'm going to have, so when I do run this, it's going to give me that space. So notice now you have the extra space. So there you go. So now you have 6 classes. So now it prompted me 6 times in an order format where you're counting, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now what we're going to do is the next thing we're going to ask, all right, let's call it C, and what grade did you get, right? So input, what grade did you get in class blank plus string B. Right, so now you're basically prompting what grade you're gonna get, right? In each of them. And remember the fact that since A is an input function, you didn't really cast this, so this is just going to be a string value, right? Since it's how many credits is class 1, it's a number, right? So you want to basically turn it into a number, right? So I'm going to call it float because sometimes credits could also be a decimal, so that's why I want to make it float. Let's just say for the input function for this one, for C, what grade did I get? I'm just going to leave it as a string because A is if you get an A, then you just leave it as A. It's just a text, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to create an if statement. So if statement basically it would tell me if if a value equals to this text message, then I want my number to my value to be 4.0, right? So assuming that we are following under the Rutgers format of a GPA calculator, basically an A is a 4.0, a B plus is a 3.5, a B is a 3.0, and then so on, right? So let's just say if C is equal to, so we're gonna have the two equal signs. So the two equal signs basically means it's validating if it's true, right? So if C is equal to two equal signs, A, or let's just say sometimes the user is lazy and he or she wants to put lowercase a, right? So in that case, your C is going to equal to either uppercase A or the lowercase a, and we're basically going to be declaring, we want to put the colon. So now we want to say that, all right, our C is going to equal to 4.0. So what's the difference between one equal sign versus two? So two equal signs basically means that you're validating if C is equal to A. So remember that Boolean operator, if it's true or false. So basically it's going to be validating, two equal signs basically means it's validating if it's true or false, right? So when it's equal sign, one equal sign, it just means that you're assigning that this value to C, right? So C is equal to 4.0, and then let's just say if, so that means, that just basically means it's another operator, part of the if statement, to say that you're continuing your if statement, right? So if it's not A, and if the user says he got a B plus instead, or C is equal to B, lowercase b plus, right? I'm going to make my C equal to 3.5, right? If, and I'm going to keep continuing this till I start getting my, till NP. All right, so C B, or C is equal to lowercase b. So if I'm going too fast, guys, just let me know. I'll try to go at a slower pace. I just kind of don't want you guys to stay for here too long. So that's why I'm kind of briefing through at a faster pace, if you guys understand that. But I will be sharing this Python file to all of you after this meeting ends. So sometime tonight, after, like, as a follow-up. So now we're going into our C pluses. So C is equal to C plus lowercase. We're going to make our C is equal to 2.5. And then if our C is equal to just C, or C is equal to lowercase c, we're going to make our C is equal to 2.0. And else, oh wait, we need our D's too. So if C is equal to D, or C is equal to parentheses D. $1.5. Now we're going into our F's, right? So in this one, for F, there are a couple of ways where a user could say, right? So sometimes he could refer, if he failed a class, he's just going to type in F, or he can say capital F, or he could say lowercase f, uppercase F, or he could say not NP, right? NP means not passing. So he can just write NP either in caps or in lowercase, right? So we're going to make it all of them. So we're going to use all those cases. So C is equal to F, or C is equal to, if C is equal to NP, or if C is equal to NP. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to say, all right, so now our C is equal to 1.0, right? So that just means that you're going to end up getting 1.0. Now what we're going to do is I want to test if this actually works, right? So I'm going to say print C. So now what it basically means that I just want to know if whatever grade I put in for whatever class, the Python actually recognizes to like as a right number, right? So I want someone to basically kind of tell me what grade I need to put in for class 1. So let me just run this really quick. I want to clear it. I want to run. Right? So I got 237, 70, 18, 6. How many credits is class 1? So 3 credits, class 1. How many credits is class 3? Oh wait, this is not running. All right, so now let's just see. Oh, so notice here I don't have 2 equal signs, so I need to have 2 equal signs. So let's run this if this makes sense. Yep, so now that ran, right? So notice if you don't have any errors, you're pretty good to go. So how many cumulative credits I have in my GPA? So 237, 70. How many credits? I have 18 credits, 6 classes. So how many credits is class 1? 3 classes. And what grade did I get? I got an A, right? So if I got an A, notice my 4.0 is printed out. What is a 3.0? So the 3.0 is just my this print A statement right here, which is how many credits is class 1. So it's just printing out however many credits I had for my class 1, right? So how many credits is my class 2? I'm going to say that's 3. And what's the grade? I got B+, right? So Python knows that it's going to be classified under 3.5 or 3.0, right? So is everyone good so far? Does everyone understand this as of right now? Yes, no, quick check. All right, good. Sweet. So now what we're going to do is first objective is before we even find our new like cumulative GPA, I just want to figure out what's my GPA going to be for this semester itself, right? So in terms of that, let's think about this. I want to know how can I even find my current, like my semester GPA, right? And the formula for that, if you were to actually think about it, is whatever your credit amount is, you're going to be multiplying with the grade scale. So if I say I got an A, right? And my A is technically equal to a 4.0. So I'm going to take my 3 and I'm going to be multiplying. I'm going to take my credit amount and I'm going to be multiplying by the grading scale. So 3 times 4. So 4 is my class 1. And I'm going to be adding that to my the next part. So let's just say if I get a B+ on my next class, and that's class 2, right? So class 2 has 3 credits. So 3 times 3.5, what is that? That is I don't know, I can't do math right now. 10.5, I think, right? So 10.5 plus 12, you're going to end up 22.5. So that's how many cumulative points you have. And it keeps incrementing like that, right? So this probably right here, this concept right here, what I'm going to be showing you is probably a little hard for you to grasp at first, but going to catch on soon, all right? So what I'm going to do is C still a string? So no, C is not a string, right? So that's a good point, Pranay. Is that Pranay, right? I don't want to say your name now. Yeah, Pranay. So C is not a string. So C was a string, and what you're doing is after the if statement, towards the end of the if statement, right? When you're saying print C, it's basically converting it into an integer, or actually a float in this case. So it's not going to be a string. You're basically saying, all right, it was a string, but now it's going to be a float. All right, makes sense? So now what we're going to do is I'm going to basically start doing my what allows it to change types like that. So in an if statement, you're basically equaling it to a number. So that's why. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be saying, I'm going to start figuring out my value, right? So I want to basically start keeping track of my cumulative points. So how am I going to use this? I'm going to use the loop as an advantage for myself. So basically, I'm just going to make a new variable called D or E, whatever, right? So let's just call it D. And we're going to say 0, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print D, right? So I just want to print D because I can show you guys when I'm executing this to keep track, right? Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take each loop and I'm going to basically make your credit amount times whatever your C value is, right? So now I'm just going to make another new variable, call it E this time. And I'm going to say, all right, so E is basically 8A times C, right? And oops, A times C, right? So what you're doing here, this E value right here. So remember, hashtag is just a comment. So I'm just basically saying I'm finding my cumulative points for each iteration. And now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say D equals to D plus E. All right, so this is the hard part, I would say, right? Because now what you're doing is you're taking the initial value that you created outside of the loop. Notice how I created this outside of the loop, right? Now what I'm doing is inside the loop, I'm calling my variable D, and I'm adding it to whatever is made up inside the loop, right? So let's just say that my class 1 was 3 credits. I got a 4, right? Which I got an A, so that's a 4. So that basically means my E is equal to now 12, right? So what my D is going is saying, all right, so since I started at 0, I'm going to be adding my 12 again, right? So 0 plus 12, it's going to be now my D is going to re-enter into the next loop, acting like it's 12. So now what it's going to happen is that every time it loops, it's going to it's going to increment by whatever your cumulative point is. So to show that in reference, let's run this and I'll show you what I mean, right? So D is supposed to actually stand for your total cumulative points. And let's see. Run this. So how many cumulative points do you have in your GPA? So 237, that's as of right now. So then 70, and then how many credits are you taking this upcoming semester? I'm taking 18, 6. How many credits is my class 1? So what is it printing 0 here? So it basically is printing my cumulative points, which is D. So D starts off at 0. So how many credits is class 1? Let's just say my credits class 1 is 3. What grade did I got? So I can press an A, right? So now what it said is my E is considered 12. So when you're printing in D, it's going to start off, it's going to enter into the loop again as 12, right? So now how many credits in my class 2? I'm going to say 3. Let's just say I got a B plus on this one. So now it walks in as 22.5. So do you guys understand the concept of why I'm doing this? Is basically just to kind of increment my cumulative points, right? So what I'm going to be doing now is I am going to go outside of the loop. I'm going to go outside of the loop and I'm going to say report. I'm going to report my semester GPA. So I want to basically say, all right, I want to know my semester GPA. So in this case, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to say your semester sem GPA. I'm going to create a new variable called sem GPA and call it your current. I'm going to say print. Wait, let me just calculate what's sem GPA, right? So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say D. So D is your sem GPA, right? Your cumulative points overall, right? So after the loop, it's going to come back as a total cumulative points. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be dividing by the number of credits you have. So D over A, right? So why A? Because here you basically put in how many credits. Oh wait, not that. It's going to be sem credits, my bad, because that's going to be the total amount of credits you'll be taking this semester, right? So for sem credits, right? So this basically does what it does is it divides your cumulative points, your semester cumulative points, and your credits, your total amount of credits. Right? So your semester, cumulative points, and your credits, and it's going to report your semester GPA, right? So I'm going to print my statement here. I'm going to say your current GPA, your current semester GPA is, and then space there. I'm going to say sem GPA. I'm going to report that, right? So now let's just see if this works. So obviously we can do math here, right? So if we have 6 classes and I get A's in all of them, I'm expecting my sem GPA to be 4.0. So let's see if our code runs in that way. So I'm going to rerun this. So I got an error here. So it says could not convert line 27. So line 27, is that the same thing? Let's rerun this. Oh, all right. My name D is not defined. So here, I want to basically get my D back, right? So D is actually defined. Wait. That's weird. Look. Name D is not defined. So hold up. Let's make it like this. Let's call this let's take this off for a second and run this again. I want to make sure if I have everything written down. So how many credits are you taking? 3. And how many classes am I taking? I'm taking one class, because 3 and then A. So that worked. And then why is it not printing my D here? All right, let's just say print D. I want to know my D in the end. Oh, okay. That's because I'm outside of the whole function. So this, remember how we're in the define function? So indenting actually matters. All right. So that's my fault right there. That's because I am not outside. I was outside of the whole module function. So notice how it starts here. So I just completely went in the end. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say, all right, let's start this again. So sem GPA is going to equal to D over my sem credits. So sem credits means that your semester credits, and then now let's just see print D. That should work. So let's see. So all right, there you go. It ran. So 237, 70, 18. How many credits, how many classes, right? So 6 classes, 3A, 3A, A, 3A, 3A. So notice each iteration is giving you a number. So that basically is showing you like it's printing your D out. So that just shows like your cumulative points piling up each iteration. So you get to see how many cumulative points you're going at each loop. Right, so 3A and then 3A. All right, there you go. My D has been printed, so I'm good. So then now what I want to know is I want to also know my sem GPA, right? So I'm going to say your semester GPA is that, right? So I want to know this is my sem GPA. I'm assuming this is going to be a long number, so I'm going to be rounding this to by 3 decimals, right? Because since it's a float, it's going to be a float. I want to be rounding it to 3 digits. So let's round this again. Let's work on this again. So 237, 70 credits in my GPA. I have 18 credits, 6 classes. So 3 credits, and then that's 1 class. 1 credit. Oh, wait. What grade did I get? I got an A. 3A, 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 3A. And then now my semester GPA is a 4.0. So notice that your semester GPA is now, it's working, right? So you got your semester GPA. So now what I want to know is I want to get my cumulative GPA. So how do I get my cumulative GPA? So I'm going to call it, I'm going to make new cumulative GPA, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to say, all right, first, in terms of my new cumulative GPA, I need 2 parameters, right? I need to know the total sum of my credits compared from my last one. So I'm going to take my current cumulative and in credits and current cumulative points, and I'm going to be adding it to the current whatever, just adding it to the semester credits, right? So the upcoming semester ones. So now I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say, all right, new cumulative points. And I'm going to say, all right, semester. I'm actually going to add it to D because D stands for semester cumulative points, right? So D plus whatever your cumulative points are in GPA, right? And then that's going to be my new. And then my new credits, new creds in GPA is going to be D plus current cumulative credits in GPA, current credits in GPA. So no, that's not going to be D plus. It's going to be however many credits you took. So you basically declared here that your credits is going to be sem creds plus current cumulative credits in GPA, right? So now your cumulative GPA is going to be new cumulative points, right, divided by your new creds in GPA. So new creds in GPA. And then now that should get you your new GPA. So print your cumulative GPA is, and then we're going to put the comma just to basically say that your GPA is, you want to put your GPA in there. So new cumulative GPA. And we're going to round this, right? So we're going to round it to 3. So let's see. All right, I think we're to the end. We found our cumulative GPA. All right, so let's run this. I'm gonna clear it first of all, and then let's run this. All right, how many current cumulative points? I'm so lazy. Let's just change it up a little. Let's put 130, right? And how many cumulative points? I got 130 under my on my transcript. And how many cumulative credits do I have? I want to make it reasonable. So let's just say, hold up, 30 divided by 3. Let's just call it 50. Right. So my current cumulative GPA, my current GPA is at 2.6. Right. And how many credits am I taking? Let's just decide that I want to be a scholar. I'm going to be taking 19 credits. Right. And how many classes is that? That's just 6 classes. And then my one class, all of them are going to be 2 credits, and one of them is going to be 4 credits. Right. So let's just start off with the 4 credits. And I decide that I get an A in this, and I got my how many credits do I get in my class 2? I get 3 credits. I have 3 credits on that, and then I got an A on this one, and then I got an 3 on this one. I got 3 credits, and let's just say I got a C+ on this class, and I got 3 credits on this one, B+ in this one, and 3 credits, and I got a 4. Oh, I put 4 instead. So we can actually put a clause in there that also accepts actual values. So we have to run this whole thing again. So let's just say, again, 130, 50, 19, 6 classes, 4 credits, I got an A, 3 credits, I got an A, 3 credits, I got a B+, 3 credits, I got a C, 3 credits, I got a B+ again, 3 credits, I got an A. So now it says my semester GPA. All right, so my round function is not clearly defined here. So I'm just gonna take this, cut and copy and paste, because I usually get a pop-up that says it. So now this should work. All right, so that should work. Let's just press play again. So this is 50, 19, 6 classes, 4 A, 3 A, 3 B+, 3 C+, 3 A, 3, and then A. There you go. Now your semester GPA is 3.684 and your cumulative GPA is 2.89. So there you go, guys. You basically basically made your own GPA calculator. So how you can technically manipulate this is your preference now, right? So when you're defining a module, in parentheses here, you can put in your cumulative points, right? So I can say current cumulative points and current cumulative credits. right? So now what this is going to do, is you really don't need the statement, right? So you can basically take this, and actually that is going to go more into this whole concept of basically like modules, dealing with modules and how you can work along with them in tomorrow's lesson. But, this is kind of like a sneak peek of, what you can do, right? So let's just say that I have my method here and I go outside my loop. And basically this is where it happens, right? So this is technically considered your like method, where it's not considered towards your module. So you basically took whatever's inside and you're saying, all right, so basically in order for this method to activate, I need 2 points, right? I need my current cumulative points in GPA. So current cumulative points in GPA, and I need my current credits in GPA. Wait, let me just make sure I got all of this right. So I want to take this, copy, and I'll paste it right here. Right. So now what I did is outside, I could basically just ask you, and I could put in, all right, so basically I want to put my current cumulative points in GPA outside, comma, and then current cumulative credits in GPA. That, right? So now it's basically kind of putting in it's kind of referring to this method right here where it's GPA. So it's saying, all right, using this module and parentheses, I'm going to be using these two parameters, and it's going to basically execute this whole thing from scratch where you have these 2 points starting, right? So let's run this last run and then we're done. So 230, 67, all right, 18. All right, see, notice how our code actually ran through the whole process, regardless of the fact that our basically our objects were outside the whole module. So that's basically saying, our parameters are inside and they're working efficiently, right? So I'm assuming from here on you guys would know everything, right? So let's just say 3 credits, A, 3, A, 3, A, 3, A, 3, A, 3, A. So I got a 4.0 for my semester and I ended up with a 3.56 or 3.55 as my cumulative GPA overall. So bringing us to that, thank you so much for joining with me today, guys. It was really a pleasure. I try to answer some questions in the between. I couldn't kind of toggle between both of them. So I really appreciate that for kind of helping me out in answering any questions he could while in the chat function. But these are some upcoming events, part of BITS. So we have our day 2 boot camp. So don't miss that. That's with that. So he's going to be building an online store, like a sample online store type of thing. And that's going to be tomorrow. We also have a data scientist from a PlayStation popping in on August 21st. He's going to be talking about sports analytics. And also we have our annual BAIT Summit. You should definitely pop into that. Definitely huge professionals coming in. They're going to be talking about a lot of business analytics stuff they work on, and basically why you need to choose BAIT as a career. I would say a lot of professionals I met definitely kind of pushed me towards majoring into BAIT, and the whole idea of finance and technology is really hot right now. So definitely get yourself into that and learn from other experiences why BAIT really matters. And make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Facebook or LinkedIn. We have events popping in all the time. We're also going to be sending out an interest form soon after semester starts. So definitely keep a lookout for that. We're going to be adding you guys to the email list if you guys are interested. And feel free to reach out to me too. My name is on there. my LinkedIn, Facebook. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and you guys can email me any questions. If you guys haven't checked in, make sure you guys check in. But otherwise, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate for joining in today, and make sure you guys come in tomorrow. Yeah, thank you. Meanwhile, enjoy some music while you leave. If you guys have any questions, make sure you guys just ask on the group chat.